You remember that huge Equifax breach, right? Hackers got their hands on the personal data of 147 million people, and it all started with just one single vulnerability in a web application. And that's the scary reality we're living in. Every single line of code can either be your fortress or a wide-open backdoor. That's exactly why we're going to explore a tool that's designed to lock down your code from the inside out. Let's get into it.
This really brings us to the single most important question you can ask about any piece of software you build. Is your code a shield or is it a target? The answer to that question can literally make or break your entire business. So today, we're diving deep into Checkmarx, a platform built from the ground up to make sure you're always on the right side of that question. Okay, so before we get into the nuts and bolts of the tool itself, we really need to understand the battlefield. The digital threat landscape is just constantly changing, right? New attacks, new strategies popping up every single day. Once we get a handle on the threats, it'll be crystal clear how a powerful defender like Checkmarx is built to take them down.
And it's very hard. Checkmarx is what's known as an application security testing platform, or AST for short. Think of it like this. A firewall, that's like the bouncer at the front door of your club, right? It protects the perimeter. But what about a flaw deep inside your e-commerce site's code that lets someone just walk out with a list of credit card numbers? That's an application-level problem, and that's exactly what AST is designed to hunt down and help you fix.
So why is this so critical? Well, honestly, it's because most hackers aren't trying to reinvent the wheel. They're just exploiting the same old, well-known vulnerabilities that have been around for years. Things like SQL injection or using insecure, outdated components. These are the low-hanging fruit for attackers. And that's exactly why having security at the application level is an absolute game changer. This leads us to this huge idea in modern software development, shifting security left. It sounds a little jargony, but the concept is super simple. Imagine you're building a house. Would you wait until it's completely finished to check the foundation for cracks? No way. You check it at every single stage of construction. Well, that's what Checkmarx does for software. It weaves security into every step of the process, which, by the way, is the whole idea behind DevSecOps.
So how does Checkmarx actually work its magic? Okay, let's pop the hood and take a look at the powerful scanning engines that are really the heart of the platform. This is where we'll see exactly how it uncovers those nasty little vulnerabilities that can bring an entire application to its knees.
First up is SAST, which stands for Static Application Security Testing. The keyword here is static. SAST is kind of like a superpowered spell checker for your code. It reads through all of your source code and flags potential security issues, like a line of code that an attacker could exploit with a SQL injection. And the best part? It doesn't even need to run the program, so it can find these flaws while you're literally still writing the code. And this is where SAST really starts to shine. It's not just doing some simple keyword search. It's more like a detective. It follows the trail of data as it moves through your application. That's the data flow. And it understands the logic behind the code's decisions. That's the control flow. This lets it uncover these really complex, deeply hidden logic flaws that can lead to catastrophic breaches. These are the kinds of things that keep security pros up at night.
Okay, next up we have SCA, or Software Composition Analysis. You know, building a modern application is a lot like building a car. You're not going to manufacture every single nut and bolt yourself, right? You use parts from other companies. Well, SCA is like the quality control inspector for your software. It checks all those third-party open source parts for any known vulnerabilities and even flags potential legal risks with their licenses. And this is why SCA is so critical. I mean, remember the Heartbleed bug? That was a vulnerability in one single open source library that was used by millions of websites. Your own code could be absolutely flawless, a fortress, but if you're using a vulnerable dependency from someone else, you're basically building your house on a shaky foundation. SCA is all about securing your software supply chain.
Now let's quickly touch on DAST and IAST. Think of DAST as a penetration tester in a box. It attacks your running application from the outside, just like a real hacker would, trying to find weaknesses. IAST, though, takes it a step further. It's like having a spy on the inside. It monitors your application from within while it's being tested, which gives it this incredibly detailed and accurate view of any vulnerabilities it finds.
Now, let's talk about APIs. You use them every single day, even if you don't realize it. When you use an app on your phone to check the weather, that app is using an API to get the data. And because APIs are basically the gateways to your data, they are a prime target for hackers. Checkmarx has a whole set of tools dedicated to making sure those gateways are locked down tight.
So, we've seen the raw power of these scanning engines.
But a great security tool isn't just about finding vulnerabilities. It has to be smart. It has to work with you, not against you. It needs to fit into your existing workflow like a glove.
And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. In a modern development pipeline, speed is everything. You just can't afford to have a manual security review slowing the whole process down. That's why Checkmarx is built to be fully automated. It just plugs right into your pipeline, runs its security scans automatically, and lets you ship secure code faster.
And this part is key. Checkmarx isn't just a tool for the security team, it's a tool for developers. It doesn't just tell you, hey, you have a problem. It tells you exactly where the problem is in the code and gives you guidance on how to fix it. This is all about empowering developers to be that first line of defense. And the intelligence doesn't stop there. Imagine you're a doctor in an emergency room. You've got a dozen patients, all with different injuries. Who do you treat first? You help the one with the most life-threatening injury. That's exactly what Checkmarx Risk Prioritization Engine does. It helps you focus on the vulnerabilities that pose the biggest, most immediate threat to your business so you can fix them first. And to make things even more efficient, Checkmarx uses AI and machine learning to filter out all the noise. There is nothing more frustrating for a developer than chasing down a security alert that turns out to be a false alarm. By cutting way down on these false positives, Checkmarx saves developers a ton of time and helps them focus on what really matters, building and shipping great code.
So, we've seen what Checkmarx does and how it does it. But now for the big question. What's the bottom line? What's the actual real-world value of adopting this kind of proactive security mindset?
This slide really brings the whole difference to life. A firewall, that's like the moat around your castle. It's great at keeping bad guys out, but it can't protect you if one of them manages to sneak inside. Checkmarx is like having a guard posted in every single room of the castle, making sure that even if an attacker gets in, they can't do any damage. It's all about security in depth, not just at the edge.
So, what does all of this actually mean for your business? It means you save money by catching security flaws super early, back when they're cheap and easy to fix. It means you dramatically reduce your risk of a costly, embarrassing data breach. It means you can innovate faster because security is a seamless part of your process. And yeah, it means you can sleep a little better at night knowing you're compliant with all the latest regulations from OWASP to PCI DSS.
The big takeaway here is that the old way of doing security, it's dead. The days of manual code reviews and last-minute panic checks are just over. The future of security is automated, it's intelligent, and it's continuous. It's all about building security in, not trying to bolt it on at the end.
So, to wrap it all up, it's not about adding security as an afterthought. It's about building it into the very DNA of your software from day one. It's about making security everyone's job and giving them the tools they need to succeed. So the real question is, are you ready to start building secure software by design?